Well, last year's March tornado left devastation and a whole lot to clean up. More than 16 months later, some of the mess keeps coming back thanks to illegal trash dumping. For some Little Rock homeowners, they say it's a problem from before the storms. In fact, they reached out to us to see what could be done, especially when this mess lands on their private property. THV 11's Ashley Godwin finds out in this 11 News Investigates.
A THV 11 viewer who lives near Asher has been experiencing people illegally dumping around her home. The problem is the city of Little Rock says there is not a lot they can do about dumping on private property, and she's worried she will be cited. I spoke to the city to see what they are doing to help stop the problem.
And unfortunately, once it goes on private property, if we can't identify who did the illegal dump, we have to work with the property owner to get cleaned up, and it's their responsibility to clean up their property.
Brian Contino is the Assistant Director of Little Rock Housing and Neighborhood Programs. He says calls of illegal dumping can fluctuate, and offenders don't realize how it can negatively affect the neighborhoods.
You'll get companies and people that are just dumping things that they no longer want to hold on to. They don't know how to recycle it.
The city will try to identify the culprits with city cameras or identifying a previous owner from the items dumped. But if those items are on private property, they won't touch them.
When it is on private property, we'll always tell homeowners, if this is a recurring thing, make a presence on the property known, whether it's floodlights that are motion activated, so that way it kind of deters.
Also, having cameras on or around your property can help city officials know who the culprits are. The city says there are companies that can remove dumped items off your property, including the city's solid waste division, who can remove certain items from your property for free.
I know it's inconvenient, but unfortunately when it's on her property or their property, it becomes their responsibility.
But if the dumping is happening on your property, will code enforcement write citations against you? The city says not as long as you're working with them to address the problem.
As long as she's talking to the code enforcement officer, explaining the situation that's going on, we're going to work with her so that way she doesn't incur a penalty on that one.
If you are caught illegally dumping, you can be cited hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the situation. Back to you.
Good stuff, Ashley. If you see dumping in the city, you can report the issue to the city's app or dial 311. Code enforcement generally takes 7 to 10 days to respond and resolve a report.